September 15th of 2015. This was the release day of Undertale, a game with an amazing soundtrack and a powerful message, but this was also the day of my 10th birthday. For me, it's such a crazy coincidence that the game that changed my life was released on such an important day in my life. On that day, I had no idea what Undertale was, and the only games I played were Minecraft and Roblox. I remember having a lot of fun with my friends and eating a lot of candy while dressed up as Raven Queen from Ever After High, even though I was wearing a black dress, but you gotta use our imagination. I didn't play many video games back then. I was a lot more into animated films and cartoons, so much so that it wasn't that year that I realized I wanted to become a cartoon creator, or a criadora de desenho animado, because I'm Brazilian and I wasn't fluent in English back then. In 2016, I moved to another school, one that has such an impact on my life that to this day, I say it's my favorite. I made so many friends there, and one of them changed my life forever, even though we lost all contact now. Her name is Maria Julia, but we used to call her Maju. We were really different in personality and we had some different tastes, even though a little similar in some aspects. She was really into anime, K-pop, and indie video games, such as a game with a skeleton with a firing blue eye. And me, well, I like Miraculous Ladybug, Lego Ninjago, and Minecraft. But one thing that we had in common was that we both liked a very popular indie game at that time. A game so horribly optimized, filled with drama, and a questionable developer. I think you know what game I am talking about. But back then, we didn't know any of that because we were kids. One day, I went to her place. I don't remember if it was for making an assignment, but I went there because Maju said she had a computer that could run the particular game we liked. But when I got there, the game wasn't running. No surprises there. Instead, she showed me another game, one that she used to talk about all the time. I remember she used to draw a certain skeleton with a firing blue eye and a creepy kid with a glowing knife, and she also used to talk about a certain mysterious man who fell into his creation and speaks in hands. But it was on that day that she finally showed me what the game was. There was a pixelated talking flower who was actually a psychopath, a caring goat lady, a yellow kid that apparently was named Frisk, according to Maju. We spent all day watching fan animations from that game, like Glitch Tale Season 1, and If Undertale Was Realistic, the Brazilian version, more specifically. When I got back home, I barely remember everything we watched because it was a lot of stuff. And surprisingly, I didn't care much about the game when Maju showed me. For me, it was all very creepy and anime-like, but I probably got that impression because of all the fan animations we watched. I just moved on with my life and went back to watching Ninjago and Miraculous. In 2018, Maju moved to another school, or city. I don't know exactly what happened to her. She used to say she would move to Miami, but I don't know if that's true. We still had contact around the beginning of that year, but I think she changed her number and I never heard from her again. I moved on with my life. After all, friends come and go. That's how life works. But I still miss her. Until one day, on a Friday afternoon, I was casually watching Minecraft videos in the living room, and I remember my friend Maju. I tried remembering the name of the game she showed me so I could watch the animated series from it. Yes, I thought Glitch Tale was an official Undertale thing. But when I watched it, I didn't understand a thing. So I decided to watch the gameplay of Undertale, one made by a Brazilian YouTuber I liked back then, and then my life changed forever. To say that Undertale changed my life forever is almost superficial. Undertale's message is something that I carry with me to this very day, and its lore is something that echoes in my mind and even influences my own pieces of original work. Undertale made me spark my creativity in ways that I never thought I could. The community of this game is so creative and passionate about this game and its characters, and that stimulated me to create stories that I would never create if it wasn't for this game. The amount of friends that I've made because of Undertale is insane. I met my best friend because of Undertale, and he lives in freaking Rio de Janeiro. I met people from all over the world because of this game. I became fluent in English because of this game, because I wanted to watch some theories from game theory, and MatPat spoke so freaking fast that it made me get used to English so much faster. And most important of all, Undertale made me realize that my dream of becoming a cartoon creator was indeed possible. I was so obsessed with Undertale and Underverse, and that made me realize that I myself could create my own Undertale series, and I am indeed making my own Undertale series that even has a trailer voiced voice in English and in Portuguese from Brazil. And to wrap this up, I briefly wanted to talk about the player's fate here, my Undertale series. Because despite this very video being a whole homage to Undertale, the player's fate is a big love letter to this game and its impact in my life. I know I took several creative liberties when making this show, but I hope that anyone watching a fan animation from that game, like I did back in 2018, can become hooked by this universe and have a spark to experience this game for themselves. So thank you, Toby Fox, and to the whole legion of people that made this game possible. Thanks to your work, you made a Brazilian girl from the forgotten state of Espírito Santo in Brazil be able to achieve her childhood dream. E eu não sei se a Maju tá vendo esse vídeo, mas obrigado por apresentar esse jogo pra mim. Obrigada por assistir, thank you for watching, and always be determined.